So that's what we did. And this year we did a new restaurant called Toulouse Cafe, which is a French bistro cafe here in Dallas, which is on, it's the Knox Henderson area of Dallas, which is near Highland Park. And I'd never been there, and I've been wanting to try it. So we tried that, and I had the beef bourguignon, which has noodles and onions and everything in it. It was, and of course, really, really amazing braised short ribs, just off the bone. So tender that they melt in your mouth, and you can just cut with a fork. They're so fucking amazing. The sauce was amazing. I had French onion soup, and I had a bib salad and something else. What did I have for dessert? Oh, for dessert I had profiteroles, and I had my champagne, I had wine actually with that red wine. So that was really good. I enjoyed that, and we watched the ball drop. Whatever. My husband was sick, so he went to bed, and that was it. So, so the older I get, the less likely it is I'm going to be out downtown Dallas. I just get so tired by the end of the year when everything's already happened. And I don't know if it's just because I'm old or boring or whatever, but I just, by the time the new year rolls around, I'm like, I don't want to go party. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay home, relax after having dealt with Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and shopping and all that bullshit. And, that's what we did. For Christmas, I don't know if I talked about Christmas or not, because as I said, I am getting old, so I don't remember everything I've said before on my show. But for Christmas, we spent time with my mom and friends, and my best friend's mom came down from Seattle, and we all had Christmas together. And it was great. We had a lot of fun and traded gifts. And I got a wine fridge for my kitchen for my wine collection, because I've been such a wineologist last year, really collecting red wines and loving them so much, especially red wines. Although I like white wine too. By the way, my favorite, if I haven't mentioned it before, red wine is Meiomi, Meiomi. Pinot Noir is my favorite Pinot. It's my favorite, period. I love it. I could drink it every day if I could. And my favorite white wine is Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio. So if you've never tried those, try them. They're delicious and very good. But anyway, I also got 18 bottles of wine for Christmas. I got a Fitbit. What else did I get? I don't know, like gift cards from Nordstrom's and I don't know, a lot of other stuff. So anyway, I did well, and I gave my husband a nice desk for Christmas. He wanted a new desk, so I got him that, a real nice one, and some other stuff as well. So anyway, it was fun. I got my mom a big screen TV for Christmas. She's 66 now, and she needed a big screen TV because she had one before. It was like the projection kind, the kind that sits on the floor, the big bulky kind. And but it was kind of going blurry, and so I got her a new one. She loves it. She's happy, and all she's been doing is watching TV apparently. So that's what my Christmas was like. But anyway, I digress, of course. So that was my holiday season. And into the new year, we've had a lot of things happening with going on with the race relations and things, with the thing in New York and stuff. And something happened recently with my husband's cousin, whom I know, and, we're friendly or whatever. We'll like each other, actually. But her husband is a cop, and he and she say that what happened in New York with Eric Garner, the man that was choked to death by the cops in New York City for no reason, basically, that they got off and didn't get charged or anything, that they were perfectly in the right, and it was, completely wrong. And for them to actually, hold on, somebody's texting me. Sorry. Anyway, so, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, anyway, so yeah, so they're very like pro cop, of course, because her husband's a cop, right? And I personally feel that, as I mentioned on the show before, that what happened to Eric Garner was ridiculously excessive. It was unnecessary for the crime that he was committing, which was not really what I would call a crime as much as an infraction or a misdemeanor. But anyway, what had happened was not, it was excessive for what he had done. And I had simply said, she had said on her Facebook page yesterday, she said, what did she say? She said, she said, cops lives, #cops lives matter. And I responded, hashtag all lives matter, meaning everybody, black, white, in between, cops, not cop, whatever, right? A pretty, I thought, harmless response. And then she deletes it. She deletes it off her page. And I was like, bitch deleted my comment off her page. So I went back and I said earlier, hashtag all lives matter, and you removed it from your page. How day, Class A. And I find it to be just, I don't know, bizarre how people can not see this from both sides. I mean, you can see both sides of the picture, right? Obviously the cops, there are good cops, there are bad cops. I feel these are bad cops. The ones that did this to Eric Garner were bad cops. I do not feel that they were justified at all in what they did. And I think the majority, or at least half the country, agree with that sentiment. And then there's the other side of the coin where what happened with Eric Garner, should he have resisted arrest? He didn't resist arrest, first of all. He just threw his hands up, but he didn't resist arrest. No, but was he completely innocent? I guess not, because he was committing a crime technically, but he was selling cigarettes, single cigarettes, instead of selling them, with a license or whatever, a tax license. So he wasn't murdering anybody, raping anybody. He wasn't, no one was in danger physically or otherwise, yet somehow they felt it necessary to put the man in a chokehold whom kept saying, I can't breathe, until he died. And essentially, they murdered him, and the coroner's office said that he was murdered as a result. That was their final determination. It was homicide, is what they said. So I don't understand how anyone can see this any other way when you see the facts. I don't understand it. I guess if you're married to a cop, somehow you can't think straight, and you have to take the side of your husband just because he's a cop, and you can't think for yourself. And I find that to be pretty laughable and sad. But anyway, whatever. People are. Sorry, I was responding to somebody's text. People are weird, and I find it to be weird because why is it people can't be objective in things? I think I'm pretty objective. I mean, I really do. I mean, I have an opinion on everything, one way or the other. I know exactly where I stand on anything, and I can see almost anything from both sides. Maybe it's because I'm a Gemini. Maybe it's because I'm biracial. I don't know what the reason is, but it's always been easy for me to see things from both sides. Like in debate class in high school, I was very good at that because of that reason. And I could debate either side of an argument, even if I didn't believe in it. But even if that's the case, why is it so difficult to put yourself in someone else's shoes? So someone's a cop or is a cop's wife. How can they not turn this around on themselves and see if they were in that situation and it was their son or their husband or their father or whatever that was being choked to death? I think they would feel differently even if they're a cop's wife or a cop, they would feel differently if it was someone that they loved. And the problem is people have to make things personal things have to be made personal before they really understand a lot of the time. And unfortunately, it's depressing and sad that people can't really decide or make these kind of decisions or these kind of determinations about what's right and wrong without having it to be personal. But unfortunately, that seems to be the case more often than not. But fuck them, whatever. So anyway, next topic. So, I'm drinking right now. By the way, I'm drinking Perrier with lime, and I've had the SodaStream machine for a long time. I've talked about it on my show before. And I drank it a long time. Like 2 years ago, I was drinking it. And I realized what I was drinking had aspartame in it or sorbitol or whatever. So I stopped drinking it. I told SodaStream, please make some drinks that have just stevia in them because I don't want the sugar and I don't want the frickin' killer substances that kill you, the cancer-causing substances. So I and many other people wrote in about that, and they did. They finally made them with stevia, and so I started drinking them with stevia. Delicious, loved them, whatever. And my SodaStream, I had certain flavors I loved, specifically the raspberry cranberry, or I think it's raspberry cranberry, that I loved. Delicious, sparkling drinks you can make at home and had like no calories and no sugar. So I was very happy, and then I realized, looking on the label, I read somewhere that they actually still have sugar in them. So you had the stevia being the primary sweetener, but you also had 2 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. Now I went through 64 ounces a day. Okay. So, what is that? That's what is that? I can't do math, obviously. 64, it's 8, right? 8 times 8, 64, right? So 816, so that's like, I don't know, like 32 grams of sugar a day or whatever. That's a lot. And that's just from the drink. And that the whole point was to, like circumvent the fucking sugar. So I got so pissed off. So I stopped drinking SodaStream. And so I started just making the carbonated water with the SodaStream machine without putting anything in it. And then I put limes. I'd buy lots of limes and put lime in it. And that would be my drink every day. And then my mom, of all people, one day had brought over this pack of Perrier lime, and it was exactly what I needed. I was like, oh my God, it's exactly what I need. So I've been drinking these things that come in a can. And so now I don't have to make them. I can just buy them, and they're fantastic because there's no sugar, there's no carbs, no calories, nothing. It's just water with lime, and it's fantastic. And then, of course, I read online that drinking anything out of an aluminum can causes Alzheimer's. So we're fucked, people. Whatever the fuck we do, we're fucked. Something's gonna get us one way or the other. So I don't know if that's true anyway. I don't know if there's any studies on that or not. I have to look it up, but I'm not going to stop drinking it. I'm sick of looking for drinks to drink that are healthy. Fuck it. I mean, if I'm going to die of Alzheimer's, then I'm going to die of Alzheimer's, whatever. Anyway, so if you haven't had that, it's pretty good. Perrier with lime. There's also one made by, I like La Croix. It's called La Croix water, LACROIX, La Croix water. They make a lime version as well, lemon and mango and other kinds, but I like the lime one. You can also get those. Those are just as good as well. Anyway, and then there's... let's see. There's this show called Broke Straight Boys. I don't know if I talked about this on the show either, but I started watching it a couple weeks ago, and it's about that website it's like a gay porn site for gay men, obviously. And it's about these guys who claim to be straight, who have sex with other guys, and they record them or whatever. And that's the porn site. And they have sex. I mean, they fuck each other in the ass and suck each other's dicks and everything, kiss and everything else. I mean, they're having real gay sex here. And so I started watching the show. There's a documentary behind the scenes type thing. It's on Here, HERE, on cable. And it's pretty interesting. And they show a lot of sex in it. I mean, it's not like they show the full frontal, but they show everything else. They actually do show full frontal. They just show them soft. But it's actually a good show, except it kind of, creates the question in your mind, are you straight? Are you gay? What the fuck? So a lot of guys like the idea of conquering a straight guy, whatever. I've never been that kind of guy. I've always been someone who likes gay guys. I like guys who like guys. I don't like guys who don't like guys. I mean, why would I want that? As I've said on my show before, I don't bark up trees that bear no fruit. That's what I've always said. So it doesn't make a lot of fucking sense to go after a straight guy, in my opinion. But some gay guys like the challenge or whatever. Some gay guys like the idea of it. Somehow they think that they're more masculine or they're more... Or whatever, so they get off on it for whatever reason. But anyway, those kind of guys, I guess, go to this website and they watch these guys get off and have sex, and they pay for it. And the guy who owns the site is like a multi-millionaire, and many times over, and has a huge house and is very well off and everything. And he's a gay guy, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's only like my age, It's kind of sad. But the show kind of follows them behind the scenes about their lives and the stuff having to deal with girlfriends and people always asking if they're really gay or straight. And the last episode, they did a polygraph of all of them to see if they were really gay or straight. And most of them came back as straight, but a couple seemed kind of gay. So, and there's one guy on there who's bi. He says he's pretty much bi, but he claims to be straight, he says, but he's pretty much bi, he says, as well. So, I don't know. It's an interesting show. If you might want to check it out, if you want to, fine. If you don't, fine. And then I also wasn't talking about the fact I'm running my memoir. I've talked about this on the show before as well. I've been running my memoir since I was how old was I? Like a teenager. Now, what the fuck would a teenager have to write a memoir about? He's not famous or gone through a drug use problem or whatever. And my memoir is called Walking Wounded. That's what I've titled it so far anyway. And it's basically an emotional journey, my emotional journey through my life and the things I've had to endure emotionally. And sort of the just constant onslaught of emotional arrows, I guess I've suffered, and heartache. And it doesn't paint me necessarily as a victim. It just paints me in a realistic